Hi, I'm Danny Johnson. Welcome to the Danny Johnson Show. Hey, are you investing into your kids? And what does that actually mean to you? You know, on this grand scope of success and your life, if you've been to First Step Success this year, you heard us talk about the 9 areas of your life. So oftentimes we have a tendency of kind of focusing and setting goals in maybe 1 or 2 areas, like, money or work, or money and fitness, or work and health. But generally, a lot of people do not set goals for family, for their marriage, for raising kids. Usually New Year's resolutions has to do with money and weight, sadly, right? It's either lose weight or pay off debt, right? That's generally what New Year's resolutions are. But people's lives become incredibly unbalanced. And they end up like bleeding out or they end up cutting off a limb because they're not paying attention. They're actually neglecting the more important things in life. I know Hans and I did that. In fact, me doing that in my very early years in my career, well, it ended up in a heart attack at 24 and a nervous breakdown at 25 where I tried to commit suicide. My husband, thankfully, is a martial artist and disarmed me of the cleaver and the chef knife that I was trying to gut myself out with. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about investing into your kids. Should that be a focus? What does it actually look like? You see, because most people think that making an investment into the kids has everything to do with education. But boy, oh boy, do studies show something very different. That's not necessarily. Is that a good investment? Maybe sometimes. But there are some places to invest in your kids that are actually an amazing, sure thing that will help them to succeed. I want to give this to you. We actually wrote the question on our Facebook page, which, by the way, if you haven't come over to our Facebook page, you got to meet the community there. Amazing people, about 600,000 people gathering together on the page Danny Johnson Live. And then you've got YouTube, you've got Instagram and Twitter, all of which, again, you can find us at Danny Johnson Live. Not to just become a follower of a page I think is disgusting. No, it's about to actually connect with a community of people, of like-minded people who want success in every area of their life. They're actually going towards it. They actually are people who are charitable, who are taking care of freeing kids out of the sex trade and building homes for the extreme poor and feeding orphans every single month, as well as taking care of some elderly. It's also with people who are paying off debt and growing their wealth and having amazing, passionate, harmonious, peaceful marriages and building companies and or small businesses from their home and or working a job. And in that job, they are elevating themselves higher and higher in their position and making a difference in the marketplace, as well as becoming phenomenal parents. So where else can you pull together a group of people like that are actually making a difference in the world and actually have goals in each one of these areas and are improving themselves on a monthly basis? I can't think of anywhere. I know this. These are the greatest people I've ever met. These are the people I want to hang out with. So very blessed because here at our company, many of them came from the community. So we do get to hang out together and raise our families together and all of the above. Okay, so anyway, check it out. So if your plan is like, okay, investing in my kids means that I make sure they go to a good college, make sure they go to a nice private school. Okay, that is making an investment. But is it possible there's some other places that are more important of investments to make? Let's explore this together. And by the way, I'm going to read your comments. So please leave a comment wherever. If you're on the website, DannyJohnson.com, you can leave us a comment right there if you're watching the show from there. If you're watching it on television or listening to the radio, you can also come over to Facebook and leave us a comment or go to YouTube. You can leave us a comment anywhere. But we read them. Your words are important to us. Okay, so we made a post about this, about investing in the kids, and people jumped all over this post and gave us tons of comments about it. Now check this out. The Gotham Institute finds that the most important thing determining success is great relationships. Great relationships. Just think about that. Does college teach great relationships? Nope. That's a big, giant heck no. That's a big, giant H-E double hockey stick no, no, no. College or a private school? No. That is not a place that teaches relationship skills. No. And what's important with relationship skills is emotional skills. Because anytime you have two humans, there's going to be conflict. Come on, we've talked about this before. In fact, we talked about this last Friday, that there's going to be conflict. We were talking about in context of marriage, but children have conflict with each other, right? So But how do we deal with it? So if our heart is full of bitterness, we can't have good, healthy relationships. If our heart is one that is hardened, we're like toxic, we are unforgiving, we are like hard ground and hard-headed, we cannot have healthy relationships. So now let's explore all the places that healthy relationships are important. Think about it. Where are they? Do you need healthy, good relationships at work? Yeah. Do you need healthy, good communication skills with other human beings if you're in sales? Oh, yeah. Do you need to be able to solve conflicts with other people? Yeah, that's relationship skills. That's communication skills. Okay, let me ask you another question. Do you need to have good relationship skills if you're going to build a company as an entrepreneur? Oh my gosh. Hello, I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe I can say that. Yeah, I don't know, forget it. I was 19 when I started my first business. 19. That was 30 years ago. Okay, so I would not have been a successful entrepreneur for 30 years. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean I haven't had failures in business. I have, clearly. My first business actually failed and resulted in embezzlement. Again, my own fault in all reality. But bottom line is that if you're going to become a successful entrepreneur, you have to have good relationship skills. You will not be a successful entrepreneur without them. Can you be a CEO without good relationship skills? Nope. Nope. In fact, the late Steve Jobs had horrible relationship skills at work. Terrible. They fired him. He got fired from his own company. He had to go get humbled, baby, and learn some things for 10 solid years before he came back to his own company, his own baby that he birthed. Well, he was fired from it. Let me ask you another question. If you cannot succeed in a job without good relationship skills, you can't succeed with a boss without good relationship skills, you can't succeed as an entrepreneur or a CEO without good relationship skills, then what does that mean for wealth? Can you create wealth without good relationship skills? No. No. No, Danny, I could have a business where I deal with no people. Really? Okay, find me one. Go ahead. Write it in the comments. Which business do you have that deals with no people? Do you manufacture something? Who does it? Robots? Nope. Oh, wait, if it is, who built the robots? Who's going to service the robots? Hello? I have an online business. I deal with no people. Oh, really? Who's the people that are buying? I mean, who buys from you? Aliens? Or is it aliens that are buying from you? No, friend. If you cannot communicate well and build relationships well, your online business will suffer. You will die. The business will die. Not you, but the business will die. So can you create wealth without a good level of relationship skills? The answer is no. In fact, it's hell no. So in order to create wealth, you got to get good at building relationships. Okay, so like you could go study economics, get an economics degree. If you suck with people, guess what? You ain't going to find a job. No one wants to work with you. No one will hire you because you don't know how to build good relationships. Everything boils down to relationships. Everything does. So why is relationships the most important thing you can teach your kids? Because it's connected to every area of their future. Every area of their future. Including, what about marriage? Can you have a good marriage without great relationship skills? You need great relationship skills to be good. To have a great marriage. You do. You do. Like, there's no getting around this, friend. Go ahead. I know you're wiggling right now. You're wiggling. You might even be sweating. Like, listen, I remember when I started in business 30 years ago. And the very first mentor was a millionaire who had said to a crowd of people, I was just another person in a crowd, and he said, in order to get rich, which sounded like a good idea at the time, especially because I grew up on welfare. It sounded like a really good idea. In order to get rich, you have to fall in love with people. And you have to be good with people. And you have to learn more about people than you do your product or your service, and you'll be unusually successful. Right there, I started sweating bullets going, I hate people. I hate them. Come on, friend. Of course I hated them, right? I grew up in a violently abusive, drug-infested home. I was molested from the time I was 3 till I was 16. Of course I hated people, right? Yeah, I'd been stolen from, I'd been beaten, I'd been raped, I'd been gang raped. Come on now. Of course I didn't trust people and I hated people. So right then and there, I almost quit. Right there, I was like, I'm out. This isn't going to work for me. Just clearly, it's not going to work for me. So glad I didn't quit. So glad he said that. So glad that I put a focus on learning about people. Because in the process, I was able to get healed from everything of my past and started to learn to love and have compassion and actually enjoy being around people. In fact, I've given birth to 5 of them. And 2 of them have given birth to 8 of them. So can you have a family? Can you have a family without good relationship skills? This is why I completely agree with the Gotham Institute. I completely agree that the greatest investment you can make in your kids is teaching them relationship skills. Teaching them how to deal with other humans that are on the planet. Instead of manipulate, because that's the natural tendency that people will have, is to manipulate and to control, especially if you have a background like mine, right? The background of being abused, the background of trauma, okay? The background of instability, the background of being stabbed in the back by people, cheated on, stolen from, as many of us have, right? So the most powerful thing, relationship skills. Let me ask you this. So can they be great parents without great relationship skills? Nope. Nope. Can they be good at solving problems without great relationship skills? Nope. Let me ask you this. What about their relationship with their Creator? Their true Father who formed them in their mother's womb. What about the relationship there? Come on now. The greatest thing you can teach your kids is to have great relationship skills, because it is the single most powerful thing that affects every area of their life, including the relationship with themselves. Yeah. You see, the greatest success book ever written says to love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, with all your resources, with everything that you got. Teach your children to do the same. And to love your neighbor as yourself. So great relationship skills include the relationship with yourself. You see, I was taught to hate myself. I was taught to hate my body. I was taught that I was the abortion that lived, that I was never supposed to be born, that I was unwanted. That's what I was taught. Through the words, the accusations, the hateful things that I would hear in the house I grew up in. It's terrible. So I was suicidal from the time I was 6. I was told I was fat, ugly, and stupid. I couldn't do anything right. So I believed these things about myself. So I was suicidal up until around 30, 31 years old. Scary, right? Crazy. Battled suicide because I hated myself. And if you hate yourself, you will not have the fullness of those harmonious, blessed relationships that you really desire. But instead, you'll live in fear, terrified of being hurt again. So I honestly agree with that statement that teaching your kids, the greatest investment you can make into them, is the investment of them understanding relationships, their involvement with it, the pain, the trials, the turbulence, the disappointments, all of it. All of those things are there by design to help them take personal responsibility of their part. Sometimes some things happen to them that don't make sense. But what we do with what has happened to us can set us on a path of success or set us on a path of failure. And the path of failure is unforgiveness, bitterness, and resentment. But a clean heart and clean hands, extending grace, mercy, love, forgiveness, releasing, now that leads them to a place of great success. That leads them to a place of honor. That leads them to a place of leadership. That leads them to a place of wholeness. And honestly, a place of self-awareness. You see, we don't forgive because we've lost sight of how much forgiveness we have already received. And if it hasn't been from the humans on the planet, it's been from our God, who has freely given us forgiveness if we just humble ourselves and ask for it. So if you're going to make an investment into your kid today, you might want to do what thousands of other parents have done. Kind of like this, Amber Seaman, who writes this. She says, my dad did that very thing with me last weekend when he took me to Los Angeles for one of your First Steps to Success seminars. I didn't know one thing about you, and to be honest, I didn't want to sit in a room for 3 days in a city and a state I had never been to, in all caps, but I am so glad he invested in me and took me. My life is changing, and I feel God changing me and opening me up to what he wants out of me. I am done listening to the lies that I am not good enough. Thanks to my dad getting me there and God talking to me through you, I feel saved and worthy, finally, of his love. Thank you. I am learning more and more every day through your books. I am forever grateful. Listen, that father invested into his daughter. We teach those relationship skills at First Steps to Success, those emotional skills at First Step Success. And out of those, we teach how to build wealth and entrepreneurial skills and communication skills. We deal with the heart of the issue that leads into every area of our life so that you can be groomed for success instead of failure. Meanwhile, before the next event, get a copy of Grooming the Next Generation for Success. It's a powerful read. It's such an important book. It's actually one of the most important things I've ever done with my life, is outside of course, being married and being a wife, is this book. Writing it took a lot of courage. The book now is gone and being taught in universities all over the world. Pastors are teaching this. Bible studies are being led by this. I never in a million years thought that would ever happen. This has affected the lives of hundreds of thousands of people and has helped to groom up a new generation for success instead of failure. Main point in here is about relationships and how they are, how to teach them. There's even scripts in here on how to talk to your kid to build a better relationship with your kid. So if you've gotten anything out of today's show, and if it all clicked with you, like, man, yeah, that makes sense, relationships is, get a copy of Grooming the Next Generation for Success and get yourself registered for the next First Steps to Success with your kids. Yes, your kids who need to be there. They need to be there. You need to be there. Family's going to grow closer together. And you're going to meet some other families that are there with kids that are 10 years old, 12 years old, 16 years old, 18 years old, 25 years old, entire families. In fact, several generations have come. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, parents, children. It's a family affair there. Everyone learning how to succeed in every area of their life. You don't believe me? Go check out our website. Go check out the testimonials. In fact, even just go to YouTube and you could just type in client testimonials. I challenge you to do that right now. I challenge you right now to do that. You can even on our website, DannyJohnson.com, click on the link that takes you to the results of our clients, the testimonials that we have. I want you to see firsthand from those people. You can even find them on Facebook where we post them every now and again. We receive tens of thousands of testimonials over the last 15 years that we've been doing this live event for the general population. So, other than that, my friend, today is a day for you to invest in your kids. Start teaching them right now about relationships, the importance of it, and the importance of their heart when they're dealing with other people. You can do that today, right now. I'm pretty sure an opportunity presented itself for you to be able to teach them something more powerful than college is going to teach them. This is Danny Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us. Please leave us a comment below. I want to hear what you have to say about today's show. It really matters to us. You really matter to us. Your opinion matters to us. How you feel about this matters to us. We can't wait to read what you're going to write. God bless you. Have a great one. Bye.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DannyJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. This has been The Danny Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will